Good morning, students. This is Ms. Hall. It is March 27th. It's a Friday. And I know that Dr. Coombs said it is Fun Friday for you. So hopefully you have worked hard this week and you are finishing up your schoolwork. I have a child who is about to sit right next to me and finish up hers because, well, sometimes we don't use our time perfectly great. And that means that, there she is. That means that we got to spend a little bit of extra time on it. So it's not a matter of not wanting to do it or it being too much. It's just a matter of learning how to focus. I know that on Friday morning I have hours of work to do today to get everything caught up and made sure. So today I'm just going to give a short video of the things that I need you to be working on, some updates, and if you need anything or have any questions, then you'll be able to give me an email or something back. Hang on. So I'm kind of going old school here. My Screencastify is not working, so I'm just going to toggle through. The first thing I need you to do is I need you to read this long message with a bunch of emojis about what's going on in class. In class, I want you to understand that you have assignments that need to be completed each week. This week, your assignment was for you to write an essay, a position paper, based on 2 paired passages. The paired passages are pretty short. One is called A Changing Student Body, and the second one is called New Technologies Require New Rules. Okay? Now, the first question number 4, it asks you to, which author better advances his or her point using rhetoric? All rhetoric means is which one persuades you better. So in this case, I'm persuaded by the first passage more. I just like the writing. I felt like they used more examples, more specific examples of how the things have changed throughout the year. So for question number 4, I'm going to go with passage 1, and I'm going to look for statistics. There's some statistics right here. There is some good examples of reasoning for it. Question number 5 is your 7-point extended response essay. For this extended response essay, I posted this picture earlier in the year, or in the week, I guess. It feels like it's been a year. But I'm going to go with no cell phones in class. Okay? So the reason that I'm going with no cell phones in class is because it takes away your focus. You already have a short attention span. That's why you're doing TikToks all the time in my classroom. It might contribute to additional cheating, and y'all are trying to be social all the time. You've got to keep up with your Snapchat streaks. You've got to swipe this way and swipe that way. And then my counterclaim is that I do like my own child having a cell phone just for safety reasons. I like to be able to get in touch with her. And so these are the 3 body paragraphs that I'm going to write. And then this is going to be my 4th body paragraph. It's my counterclaim. So when you start writing, your introduction and your conclusion are meant to help your reader understand your purpose. So I'm starting with my writing. I'm going to start with a big idea, and I'm going to start talking about how today everybody has a cell phone, that it's very important that we can be able to keep in touch and be social, but that I'm going to come down at the bottom of my introduction and say that there's not a place for cell phones in classrooms. Now, once I have my plan in place, my writing should come very quickly. So what I want you to do is I want you to do exactly what we would do in class. We'd set up a timer, maybe set a timer for 40 minutes, and you should be finished with your essay in no more than 40 minutes. Just start typing fast and furious. Now, another thing I've gotten a lot of questions about is your poetry, your SIFT poetry stuff. Let me say this. When I posted it last week, my goal was for you to think through poems, okay? So I want you to be thinkers. You know that. I tell you that every single day. I don't want you to have prompts for everything. I don't want you to have to get up in the morning and someone say, "Are you going to eat breakfast today? What would you like to have?" I want you to get up and say, you know what? I'm hungry. It's time for breakfast. I think this morning I'm going to have whatever. So part of my philosophy in working with ninth grade is that you are the thinkers, right? So when you're looking at poems, there's a lot of gray area with poetry. Poetry is really, really hard, but at the same time, it's really, really easy because if you can prove your thoughts, they're correct. So here are the poetry analysis. The first one, the introduction to poetry, that was my example. What's in black are the questions that I thought to myself as I went through the poem. So I do not have to have questions. I just put down my thinking. And then in purple was my response. What I was thinking was going on in the poem, an introduction to poetry. Now, these are the guided notes. You can turn in the guided notes or the first notes. Either one is fine. For poem 1, on the guided notes, I've pointed out some things that I've noticed, and I've also added some questions to kind of start your thinking. And I also did that for poem number 2. And I've asked you to think about some of your questions and your responses, okay? Now, here's the reality. For poem number 3, I did not do that. I want you to, and for poem number 4, I did not do that, okay? There's another poem down here, Storm Warning. You can also use a poem that you like, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at this blankness, and I want you to think, how would I fill this chart in if I were in class with Miss Hall? What would I talk about? The first thing that I would do is I would go back up to the questions that are here. Look at these questions and see if those questions can guide your thinking with this poem. Now, you do not have to do these poems. You can choose a poem from the website that's linked in Google Classroom, but you can use these poems as well. And I want you to think for yourself, what do I see in this poem? How can this poem help me? All right, so finally, next week is a makeup week, okay? I understand that a lot of you are struggling to kind of find balance with this. Remember that my goal is for you to be here, to contact me. Right now with Miss Smith's class, I have almost 200 students that I'm working with. So you need to reach out to me. Don't get frustrated. Reach out to me, send me an email, send me a Google Classroom question, and then understand that I'm here to help you, okay? The last thing I want you to do, I'd love for you to post a Flipgrid Friday. This is just a short little video that you can tell me about your week and talk to me about something that was good.
Friday. It's March.
So I hope that you will join in the classroom fun. This is not a requirement, but I do love to see you and I love to hear how you're doing. I hope you guys have a great weekend and I'll talk with you soon.